There's a very interesting quote off a movie I really like. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. It's called The Wind Rises. It's from Studio Ghibli, and it was directed by Hayao Miyazaki. And there's a very interesting quote off of that movie, which says, "The wind is rising, we must try to live." I feel like it's such an important quote throughout the whole movie because all the ideas that are going through the mind of the main character and really everything that happens throughout the whole film is its foundation and its root. It's that quote, and it's so interesting, it's so beautiful, and I do definitely recommend you to watch it. But the wind is rising, we must try to live. Like, what does it really mean by we must try to live? Why try? Why not just, we should just live? But why try? I feel like there's a very interesting thing that it's been going around for quite a while now, and you could call it optimization culture. And a lot of people create content around this idea of optimizing every second and every moment of your life for a maximum, progress, or and there is a, for everything in life, I think there's a good side and a bad side. Not for everything, but for most things. There's a good thing and there's a bad thing about it. And that is exactly what happens with this optimization culture. There's like ways you can use it which will give you positive feedbacks, and there are other ways that some people use it that will give you negative feedbacks. And my idea of this optimization culture, like the whole ideology of that, came to me in 2025. It was like mid 2025. I started watching some like just random videos off YouTube, and there was these guys telling me like, oh, you need to optimize every moment and every second and every week, every day of your life need to be optimized for maximum progress. And I really thought, like, why? Obviously, I think you should optimize certain moments and specific times of your life to see progress in something you want to achieve, and of like an objective you have in mind. But I feel like it's not necessarily good if you optimize every second, because you don't know what's going to happen in your life tomorrow and the day after that and in a week, in a month. Obviously you have an idea of it, but you don't really know if that will actually happen. There's that saying, you never know the day of tomorrow. And I feel like, it's really interesting to think about, because there's another movie I really enjoy too called Perfect Days. You may know about it, but if you don't, it's a Japanese movie directed by Wim Wenders, and it's literally about a guy who cleans toilets in Tokyo. And the whole movie is so beautiful because it's constantly telling you something often people forget, I think. It's like to live off the small moments in life as well. Not really optimize everything about your life, and not necessarily try to make everything in your life a progress bar. For example, in the game I'm playing right now, Stardew Valley, this is a very routine-based game. You wake up, you plant whatever you want to plant, then you may want to fish some fish, and you do this routine over and over, and you get money off of it. When you sell things on the little box here and you go to sleep, you wake up the next morning and those things made a profit for you in the game. So this is a very routine-based game. And that movie, Perfect Days, is also a very routine-based off film, which is kind of contradictory from this optimization culture I was talking about. Like, you don't necessarily need to optimize every second, but sometimes you should. But there are very specific moments where I think that's where the beauty lies in that movie, where, for example, in his lunch breaks, he takes his little camera, and I think it's an analog camera, a little film camera, where he takes pictures of the light that shines through the leaves of trees. And I feel like there's such just a beautiful thing in general that he does that. Because I don't know if you knew this, but in Japanese culture, I may be completely wrong, but I remember watching the movie and I remember something about this that was really important. But in Japanese culture, the idea of light shining through the leaves of trees, it's like it has its own philosophical idea. And after I watched that movie, I actually started noticing that just as its own thing, just as its own pretty thing. If I haven't watched that movie, I was never going to realize that. I was never going to see that, you know. Oh, this is new. I've never actually seen this. Anyway, I would never actually realize that that thing or that idea existed. And that is, I think that's the number one you could call drawback of this whole idea of optimization culture. You try to optimize every second of your life. You try to maximize every moment of your life, and you forget to live off the small things in life too. You forget to see the small details about everyday life. And like, for example, the light that shines through leaves, it is pretty on its own thing. It is actually a pretty thing. But you know, I feel like they took that philosophical idea and they're kind of telling you, you know, there's not only that, there's more. There are more small details in life that if you do really try to optimize, you probably will miss that. You know, I felt like this is a shorter video. I wanted to make this video with an idea in mind. This is a style of video I got motivated to do by a guy called Jay Schlatt. You probably know him. He's a very famous YouTuber, a very, very successful content creator in the platform. And he has many channels. He has his gaming channels, his VOD channel. But there's a channel in specific that he also has called The Weekly Slap, where he talks about random subjects with Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 gameplay on the background. And that's exactly what I was talking about earlier. There's such, like, you may find it silly and you may find it a little bit stupid that there's a guy talking about like serious or important subjects, but there's gameplay of a random game on the background. But I feel like there's something very beautiful about that. I wanted to make this for quite a while now. I feel like I wanted to make this type of videos in this style way before I started my channel. Obviously, I love creating the video commentaries with a lot of editing and with the scripts, but there is a undefined beauty about not really reading off a script and talking from what you truly believe. And I feel like I'll probably continue to make these videos, but just when I feel like it. 2025 just passed. It's been a really crazy year. Not necessarily a bad year, but it's been a neutral year. But a lot of crazy things happened to it. And I feel like the resolution of this video is that it's not necessarily a bad thing to optimize moments of your life, but it's not necessarily good either to optimize every second of it, And a monotonous life is not a boring life. It's just like that quote from The Wind Rises. The wind is rising, we must try to live. And I feel like a monotonous life is you're trying to live, Well, this is pretty much it. This is pretty much everything I wanted to talk about. So I do want to thank you if you actually watched this video. I know it's not much going on in this video, but I think that's exactly the point of the video. Anyway, thank you very much for watching this video, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye bye.